All right, there we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Game number 3 coming at you. Third and final game, of course, The Last of Us versus Willowkeeper. See who takes this series here. Definitely, Willowkeeper taking the first game. Good victory for them. Last of Us fighting through the second game, and thus why we're here. Kind of that quick recap. Talking about Mini Maggot once again. All right, so here we are jumping into this one. We already got the Rhapsody first pick, followed up with the Bubbles, then the Magnus this time coming out on The Last of Us, and then Madman back over for Willowkeeper. So again, making a point that they do like this hero.
Come on, Vindicator.
Maybe.
Vindicator needs to be picked up. It's like a whole series without him being picked up. I need some Vindicator in my life.
Still, so needy, man. So needy with the Vindicator.
I'm just thinking of like other heroes that I mean, like, because we think, oh, Tundra. Okay, we haven't seen that hero in a while. But I was thinking, like, Vindicator, really, it's one of those heroes that is still really good, and it's kind of niche pick, and it did work out quite well. But I think there's other heroes that are still, viable and could work. I don't know if we're going to see it in this best or last game, best of 3, but I'll have to see. In terms of Tree's next pick, they could pick up a support, although Torturous Bandit, I know that's one of the preferred supports, actually. They do pick up a Luna. They do like that hero as well. But it's kind of like similar drafting styles, although The Last of Us prefer to run a junglers. Willowkeeper don't. But this Tundra third pick, though, I haven't really seen Tundra being picked up other than Zinc, but KZ used to be picked up all the time, so I don't know how they're going to play it, actually. Or where they're going to play it. But.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. KZ, as you said, the one that played it, if anything. Also, Pro Busk, when he was on Zinc, was the one that actually known for playing as well. But other than that, not a whole lot standing out as far as who plays it and where. So we'll see where they end up with it in this case. I mean, he has potential to really go through all 3 lanes.
Yeah.
To an extent, so.
And I think Tundra is actually almost one of the strongest sort of counters to a team like Willowkeeper or Reason, because all the sort of advantages and the place where Willowkeeper start to win the game almost is with the rotations coming out from the ganking potential, either with the dual supports or Bubbles rotating to a lane, and Tundra's really good anti-gank potential with that Shiver. It can spot out like so many ganks. Like we talk about Tundra being like the anti-Nymphora because of his Call of Winter Shiver potential, and I think Tundra is actually quite a smart pick against Willowkeeper. It just depends if they can play it, because the only problem is when you pick up a hero and it's like, oh yeah, it's going to counter this team, but in the end you have no one on your team who can actually play it. It's like, well, that was quite silly in the end. But I mean, these guys are good players. I think they at least know how to play it to some degree in the end. But.
Yeah, exactly. That's I mean, it's been a thing. Tundra's had his stay where he was a god tier hero, and we saw him banned every game. But even to this day, I mean, you can consider him to be in that echelon of like god tier, very high status if he's in the right hands. You're pointing out, the Shiver is just such a strong tool, and could be very, very useful for you again if it's in the right hands. So we'll see how whoever ends up playing it here, how well it works out for them. But the banning stage finishing off there, so the next hero pick is going to be happening. Moon Queen, Parasite, Pharaoh, Wretched Hag, Doctor Repulsor, and Corrupted Disciple were the bans here.
Shadow picking in the Gemini. I mean, it worked out really, really well in the last game. And that was the hero that went suicide. Like, you saw the potential of it to sort of regain its farm, and it was a real force in the late game. One hero I'd like to see Willowkeeper pick up, which we haven't sort of seen, is Gladiator. They used to run it all the time back, and they absolutely dominated it. Cracky would be they'd actually run Gladiator in a dual mid, and it would be so strong because of the whiplash. Like, you can't really beat the Gladiator dual lane because of the flagellation is so much harassed. Like, you can't sit in the lane without spending so much money on just pure regen.
Yeah.
And it's a really good hero to sort of set up any sort of ganks coming in as well, which obviously we stated before how Willowkeeper love to sort of set up the early ganks because of the showdown potential. I don't think we'll see it here, but I mean, I know Willowkeeper used to love picking up the Gladiator. And it'd be pretty cool to see it here, but I don't think they will. They picked up the Bubbles, which normally sort of states that they're going to put that mid, because they do like to put Bubbles 1v2 mid, because of its potential to either a 1v1 or even 1v2, and still come out really well. We saw it in the last game.
The first game, yeah.
Yeah, Flux in this case. which sort of suggests that they're going to pick up the second support because, yeah, Flux, the secondary
Engineer still there? Yes, he is, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they can pick up the Engineer, actually.
Unless they pick it up here on The Last of Us. Probably not going to happen, though.
No, they picked up Tempest already, so that's almost secondary support. I'm looking for a carry. I mean, Berserk is still on the board, man. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I think there's potential for Berserker to be picked up here.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of like crazy crowd control here on the Hellborn side, so that's the one thing where I am like, would it be the most valuable? Again, I love seeing Berserk, don't get me wrong, but as far as liability goes,
I'm betting Berserker right now. This third game, damn it! I thought it was going to be.
I was hoping you were right. I definitely was hoping you were right, but
I don't see why not. I mean, the problem with Berserker is just that he doesn't farm that much, and they do pick up the Engineer, like you stated, actually. And this is going to be quite an interesting game to match up because both of these teams actually have really, really strong team fight. Obviously, Tempest and Magnus on the Legion side, but Engineer Flux on the Hellborn side. So there's going to be a lot of chaos in these team fights, and I mean it's going to be that absolute bloodbath in these team fights when they get together. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, that's the Engineer pickup again. The final pick, not too much of a reach there as far as predicting that. So definitely a good combo to have, though, of course, for obvious reasons. And again, the landing phase always going to be interesting. I also wonder. I mean, again, the first game we saw Flux, hey, they won that game, worked out well. You even mentioned going into it, he likes to build that in Sanitarius, and eventually maybe not even get the portal key later on, depending on what it looks like. This game, I mean, do you still think that that the Insanitarius burst that's just what he's going to go for, or the portal key is too strong here?
There's two sort of trains of thought that you could go, either the portal key or the Insanitarius. I mean, he could pick up the Insanitarius because he doesn't really need the quote unquote initiation because he's got the bubbles there to do it. But he is playing with the Engineer, and the portal key with the Flux almost guarantees the Flux Engineer combo to come off without like a hiccup. And so in this instance, I think he will pick up the portal key, but I think the Insanitarius will probably be the next pickup. They're going to be an engagement here in the bottom lane.
Here we go. Tempest leading the way. Hellborn team coming in. Oh, there's a vote to pause coming out. This is awkward. Magnus stuns in, and let the games begin. Always love these pauses. I need to reconnect. Be right back.
This is looking so bad for the Hellborn side. Not only because they've already took quite a lot of damage, particularly this Aluna, but this Gemini's lining up for a Twin Fangs. And Engineer is the only one really with a set stun here. And Rhapsody's still got here to do his crap as well. Although at the same time, Tempest doesn't obviously offer almost anything into the level 1. He's already spec'd the Elementals, which is the right thing to do. I don't think you should spec the Glacial Blast. I mean, it's potential to do it, but I don't think it's just pretty pointless. So compare it to like a Solstice stun, or compare it to his E leveling up. I think with Tempest you need to have that level 1 Elementals, otherwise you're going to be stuck level 1 for a while.
Yeah, that's just not.
But I mean, even without the Glacial Blast, I'm pretty sure this is going to be in favour for the Legion side. I'm pretty sure they're going to maybe get 2 or 3 kills, but I think Hellborn might net at least 1 perhaps. But this Aluna is going to be instantly dead. Gemini's going to be stunning in onto this Gemini, and they might even catch the Engineer, actually. If they catch the Engineer, this is going to be really bad, because the Engineer won't be able to get his keg off. But Rhapsody's got his staccato stuns right now as well. And Flux is in the back. You'd preferably want Flux in the front hand. He's so tanky, 700 HP. You'd want him to be taking all this damage, but instead it's Aluna. Aluna's going to get blown up by this Gemini and Rhapsody. And I think Madman will survive. It's going to be... I think Aluna and Engineer are going to fall, but they might be able to catch perhaps the Tempest or the Magnus as a return kill, I think. I believe.
Well, we will see what actually happens once Tempest is obviously reconnected back in. Slowly but surely, there we go. And as soon as the ready is given, we will let the battle begin. Here, what's going to happen here? So, yeah, you're thinking like The Last of Us maybe has a better chance here, but...
Yeah, I mean, that was a good line stun coming out from Magnus already. I think Aluna's still stunned, and I think Engineer isn't stunned, so he should be able to get the keg stun off, but Magnus is already stunned. But here we go. The countdown's about to go. This is going to be very awkward.
All right. Here's the stun from Gemini. Goes in onto Aluna. Aluna's going to drop right off the back. Can they at least get a counter kill? Yes, they can. Down goes Tempest. They're holding their ground. Engineer is going to be picked off, and Numbers advantage in favor of the Legion side, a 2-for-1 exchange. Magnus is still chasing. He doesn't have a stun. He's going to be pushed away. There we go, the Twin Finks. Beautiful land right there. Madman's going to take a death as well. And when it's all said and done, a 3-for-1 exchange.
As predicted, I thought that Legion would get at least 2 or 3 kills, but I thought Hellborn would at least get 1 counter kill. They do get a counter kill onto Tempest. And it's looking already quite bad for Willowkeep. I mean, losing 2 kills already, it really weakens the laning phase coming up from Willowkeep. And I think the laning phase is honestly one of the strongest points of Willowkeep. They've got the incredibly strong and exceptionally skilled Boxy in the laning phase, and just anything that weakens Willowkeeper's laning phase is just going to hamper them in the future. Sort of potential of winning this game. But I have to admit, Box's bubbles is honestly one of the best bubbles I've ever seen. He is you watch him. I'm pretty sure he's going to get first blood on this Rhapsody. If I'm going to bet a first blood, it's going to be from Boxy on a 1v2 lane. Oh. The amount of times I've seen him get blood loss. Actually, Aluna's rotating down here as well. Actually, but yeah, playing against him honestly is the most frustrating thing, because he knows this hero inside out. I mean, Bubbles is quite a slippery hero in itself, but he plays it absolute perfection, honestly. And that's what I mean. He reminds me of a little Mickey pretty much, because he's just so manly. He always goes for the big plays and never backs down. And in that case, it can be a bad thing, but at the same time, it's obviously really entertaining to watch.
Are you telling me this guy's younger than Mickey?
I think he's similar age to Mickey.
Really?
Yeah, and but he's getting initiated on the bottom by the Gemini.
Yeah, he might be in some trouble here. I mean, he has a shell surf takeover. He's going to be coming off cooldown too. He's playing it very patient right here. He kind of stutter steps a little bit, going to eat through the trees. There's a shell surf, and he will eventually be fine. There's a kill the top one in the meantime. As I was watching that, and sure enough, Magnus goes down at the top lane. Suicide Magnus ends up falling to Madman Aluna up here, so that was a good take on their part. And so, I mean, now they're kind of looking at the lanes here as far as what's actually going on. So, yeah, they are running the Suicide Magnus. They got Tundra mid. He started off the game 2-0-1, so he had a very early bottle, obviously. And as
the only awkward thing about Tundra going against Flux Engineer is that obviously Tundra doesn't really have an escape mechanism. If he does get caught out by the Flux Engineer, the amount of slow coming out from his combo, I'm pretty sure he's going to fall. But the 2 kills definitely helping him out in the beginning. He's got his bottle now as well, but I think he still will be able to get picked off if possible. And they're giving health pot to Box in the bottom lane, trying to help him out any way possible. And they're really trying to shut him down as much as possible. It honestly reminds me of when you talked about the chew factor. Box is one of those players. Honestly, shut him down and he doesn't offer as much. But if you let him go out of control, he can be so frustrating to deal against. Honestly.
Middle lane who dodges the Kex down, but he does have a haste rune. Yeah, he's able to easily dodge it with one of those. Back to the bottom lane again. Bubbles in trouble. No, he's going to have a shell surf in time before too much happens right there again. So, I mean, he keeps going back in there to try to lead some experience, but they are doing a pretty good job of making sure to box him out as much as possible here. So, and obviously you got to remember, too, Tempest in the jungle here for The Last of Us. Being played by What You Got, of course. So, overall, though, the start here, I mean, Madman's 17-5. He's off to a very good start, obviously, at this top lane. A short lane Madman. I mean, I can't recall the last time we've seen that, honestly. And I mean, again, this hero has a lot of potential to carry it. Most certainly. Yeah,
definitely. And he's a good suicide laner. He's a good overall laner in general. And that's probably why we saw the Magnus getting picked off. Magnus isn't the strongest of suicide laners. And the mobility and the damage coming out from Madman actually is really strong and hard to deal against for the suicide Magnus. And so no wonder he got an early kill up here on the suicide Magnus. A big push coming up here in this top lane, actually. Magnus going to try and aggro from the tower, but yeah, Madman is a really strong hero in the late game, and he can carry so hard with that gash ability now changed from what it used to be.
Yeah, the crit chance RNG to now just a straight up, I'm going to amp your damage. The more attacks you do, that's what also makes it Kongor attempts with the Madman, especially a farm Madman, very, very quick and easy. He has that Berserk active and whatnot, so yeah, most certainly, again, and the thing I really like about this hero again is the activity he can be earlier on in the game, just simply because of his skill set with the barrel roll and a stock. A lot of damage output, a lot of ways to avoid dying himself. So, Yeah, it definitely has potential to, again, be a great impact here. So even despite that 3-1 start here for the Legion team and getting the Bloodlust and everything, I mean, overall, this laning phase is actually going pretty good for the Hellborn team. I mean, they're winning both of the lanes that they should be winning. And Bubbles at least is staying alive.
It's because they don't really have a lot of mobility or ganking potential for the Legion. So they obviously got Tempest, so excuse me, quite a passive sort of play, and Tundra can't really get active until he gets to level 6, and Magma's sort of quite similar in the sense as well. He doesn't have boots; it's kind of hard to sort of gank and roam, and so in this case, like the mobility coming out from Hellborn instead, if they want to, they can rotate. A middle lane actually, Tundra's most likely falling.
He's gonna use that cold shoulder, trying to make a juke right there, but Diglett does fall, cracking on the flux. Gets credit for the kill, so that's right up with the Kegstone back to the bottom lane. Bubbles, he covers a stun though from the Twin Fakes. He has a shell surf, he's waiting to use it.
It's so ballsy, man. He almost like plays with him, honestly. Like, like most players would just almost panic and just use it instantly, you know. But he's just so calm and collected about it.
I'm gonna draw you to tower, go get the job done. Madman, is that gonna hit him? It's not. Let's not.
That would be really, really big if that happened, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, Boxy is just such an annoying player to play against. It's just the only way to describe him, honestly. He's just so good and just, you know, just so calm and clear. He always taunts you. It's kind of so frustrating. But yeah, going back to the point about Tundra, I talked about if he does get caught out by the flux and shit, I'm pretty sure he's going to fall, and he does in the end. He doesn't have that escape mechanism. Normally we see if it's going to be like a solo mid against 1v2, we see like, you know, the ones that have like escape mechanism, like bubbles, say the bubbles, we saw in game 1. And Tundra doesn't really offer that, so he has to be really careful with his positioning. Otherwise, he is going to fall like all again. And particularly when Flux gets level 6, like his, you know, he's got to play even further back because he can get pulled in. Magmas is coming over. They might even try and do Ancients here. Perhaps he's just piercing shards it. I don't know why, but it's kind of strange. But Tundra
him up a little bit.
Yeah, Rhapsody is coming over. I don't know if they can, if they're trying to try set up a gank or they're trying dual lane in, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't know if they know exactly what their plan is. I think that was I think there was a lot of confusion right there. I mean, you can kind of tell with the way people are moving. Is do we want to maybe set up a kill? No, maybe not. Change of plans. Blah blah blah. But yeah, Magma's back to the top lane in the end, and Tundra's gonna sit next to Tempest right here. Okay, gets a ring of sorcery.
It's a lot of wasted time though. Like, it gave Bubbles like a level 5. Oh, we're coming in on Tundra this time.
Yeah, Tundra gets pulled in. Also onto the top lane too, but they do get the kill on a Tundra. Madman applied a little bit of damage to Magnus, but yeah, there you go.
That's exactly what I said it was going to happen. Though. He's going to turn, Flux is going to turn level 6, and Tundra really has to be careful with his position. At bottom lane, actually, Bubbles, no, he should be fine. Yeah, like, Tundra's got to be really careful with his positioning. He's died once already, and dying a second time is honestly to be expected. He's going to turn levels, Flux turned level 6, and it's kind of obvious that he's going to try and kill him, so we need to have played a bit more defensively, but in the end does fall as a result.
And here's the push. Middle lane, I mean, they're already using vulnerability right here. So don't want to obviously give up a free tower kill this early on especially, but they're going to apply some good damage to that middle tower. When it's all said and done, but bottom lane, speaking of tower pushing, here we go with Tempest now. Tempest has those level 3 elementals coming in. Not going to spot these there, but...
There is a TP on Flux and Madman actually, as well as Engineer actually.
Yep.
If Bubbles could get level 6, it'd be a perfect counter initiation here, but I don't think he's going to turn level 6 in time.
Maybe. No, yeah, he doesn't get it right there, so... Doesn't look like it. Well, this next creep wave, I mean, there you go. He hit it.
This could be a turn, actually.
Yeah.
I can see it already happening.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely going to be a fight. I'm sure of it.
They're running down already.
No TP's necessary. There's a vulnerability. Are we going to see a shell surf in? No shell surf just yet. He's playing it very, very patient, waiting for the team to get here. Flux is coming in for the side. He denies the tower, and here we go. Kelfield comes out. Gemini's forces Twin Fangs away. Tempest, he has an ultimate. They need to be careful for that. He is going to ulti. Oh, he ulted, and he got killed immediately. That's a big, big misplay right there coming out from Tempest. And the chase continues. He pulls in Gemini. There's a follow-up pull. He has Twin Fangs in 1 second. No, the Song of the Sea Signs comes out. He will be able to get it off still. And he's going to be fine for now. Off to the side, though, Rhapsody's now going to be in trouble. The Shell Surf connects on through. And yes, Rhapsody will fall. So at least Gemini lives. But we saw it coming all along, and it works out pretty well in the end.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, the passive play, just because dependent on the heroes, really, like Magmus and Tundra, they need their farm ready to be able to get involved in these like team fights. Like, they need their portal keys because otherwise they just don't have the mobility. I mean, Gemini and Tempest and Rhapsody probably doing the right thing to try and push, but I mean, even Willow Keeper were just ready to sort of team fight and rotate over, and Bubbles just about got level 6, as we mentioned, and as a result picks off 2 kills that are just pushing Willow Keeper further and further into the lead right now.
Yeah.
And Balthazar's farming out of his brains right now, 428 GPM right now, and he's just going to keep farming. I'm not 100% sure what his item build is going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, he has the world's his oyster at the moment with the gold he's got. And he's not in need of any certain particular order. He could even go Rune Cleaver, Null Stone, Energizer, even like straight into, let's say, Shrunken Head or even Brutalizer. I mean, the one problem with Madman though going carry is that he does have quite a few mana issues, particularly if he keeps spamming those Q and W.
That's why I think something like the Null Stone.
Yeah.
Might honestly make a lot of sense here. And yeah, that's another thing I just love about this hero is that exactly he's not item dependent either. I mean, sure, yes, he can get that carry potential and he will wreck you with the more items, but even with just like, say, if he went first item Shrunken Head, the fact that he has Berserk, his ultimate, the fact that he has that gash ability, his skill set, he can dish out a lot of damage just with that alone. So, but yeah, I mean, if I was to choose, I mean, I would probably say Null Stone, but we'll see what Balthazar decides to ultimately go for. I mean, they're doing a good job of stacking these camps here.
Yeah.
Giving him some farm there.
There's a lot of stacks actually in the mid, and I mean you could even see a Rune Cleaver. Honestly, it gives him the mana regen issues, although he is kind of quite susceptible in terms of survivability. And I mean Nullstone would work quite well in the sense because Tundra, they've got quite a lot of strong single target spells that could be blocked through Nullstone, particularly the Avalanche coming out from Tundra.
The other nice thing about it, too, is that especially if he gets the Shrunken Head on top of that, so he's got that Shrunken Head with the Nullstone combination, it also becomes very difficult. But we're going to see a pause to come out here from Willow Keeper, a quick restart. But I am wondering about Flux, though. I mean, he's sitting on 2,400 gold now, so probably leaning towards that Insanitarius.
Yeah. I wondered what he was going to go with, because I mean Bubbles does offer the initiation, even if Bubbles doesn't get the PK himself, and so I guess it does allow Flux to go the Insanitarius in the end, but I mean, you still might see a portal key after the Insanitarius. You might just want it just for the bulk of it, because the Flux engineering combination is so strong, and that extra bit of positioning from the portal key that can offer the Flux is so good just to land those pullings into the energy field coming out from engineer. So we'll have to see.
Magnus just got his Steam Boots finished, so don't expect that portal key very soon at this point. Obviously having a struggle there at that top lane. Tempest, how's he been doing? 264 GPM, he has died twice. And again, using that ultimate that basically got canceled right away as soon as he died. So, a bit of a misplay there. But he's not doing too shabby either. He's got a Ring of Sorcery and probably going to see that Astrolabe, of course, next in line. Swiftline playing the Gemini. He actually gets that, what is that, Amulet of the Exile here earlier on. Instead of the Energizer route, so it's going to be going for more of maybe even the Grave Locket here. Some extra mana pool to work with. As it looks like Engineer is good to go back in the game once again. So, yeah, probably get some answers soon here, especially more so for Madman in terms of what he's going to be going for. Because, again, I've been cleaning up some of these camps here. In fact, look at the yellow camp here. That also stacked up.
Yeah, well, with actually the yellow camp getting the buffs actually coming out from the not so recent patch actually, particularly for supports actually, that stacking that yellow camp is really strong because obviously support's really lacking in terms of levels and stuff, and stacking and killing the yellow camp can really offer like a couple of levels that are really important for like the engineer and Aluna. Aluna's only level 4, and taking out the yellow camp could definitely offer him the level 6 he needs desperately.
Yeah. All right, there's a sustainer picked up. So again, still not an exact answer just yet, but limits it to more so a Nullstone or a Rune Cleaver here to be coming out for Madman as he's headed back towards the top lane. Middle lane, it looks like both teams maybe want to be setting something up here. It's just a matter of who gets the jump first as Flux. I mean, again, he has the ulti. There we go. He's going to pull him in. The release comes out. The Keg's on it. Misses, actually. That's a problem sometimes with that combo if you're not on the ball, but the energy field is blocking out the supporting cast. And Bubble's going to follow this up. Kelfield comes out. Song of the Sea. Aluna goes down. Magma's channeling the Eruption, but he's not going to do much with that. That was a very desperate, if you dive, you're dead. But in the end, nothing comes of it. But a double tap for Boxy.
Yeah, and that's where the Flux ultimate is just so strong. Like, you can initiate even if you don't have the portal key itself because you bring the heroes to you, but there's the Insanitarius pick up. It's something really that Crookie loves to do, and it works so well, and particularly with the fast fingers he does have, he can toggle it on so well and take full use out of the Insanitarius, and he hits quite hard with it as well. Like I said, he sort of almost rotates into a carry into the late game with iron pickups like that. So.
You see right here, they're going to group up again in the middle lane. I mean, they know the Flux Ultimate and Energy Field, everything's pretty much down right now on the Hellport side. So they kind of scare him off, though, and that's that. So I almost wonder if Tundra, why Piercing starts so early. Maybe allow Magnus to kind of get in there for a stun, but...
Madman is going the Rune Cleaver, by the way. Just picked up a broadsword, yeah. And it makes sense that they're stacking the jungle so much, and they're not in a need to really take this game. I think they have the potential to leave Madman to keep farming like that. I mean, Madman hasn't really been involved in any of these team fights. He's only got the kills from the top lane and the initial engagement before the game even started down bottom lane. So they're just going to let him farm. And I talked about this before. That's the kind of strategy that Willowkeeper likes to roll with. Just play around with the 4 heroes and let Balthazar farm and get as hard and as strong as possible. And then when he feels ready, then they take the sort of 5-man team fight, in racks or on Kongor, etc. It's kind of like a 4-1 strategy. I know, like TDM used to even do that when Haxrin was playing like the super hard carries like Draconis or Moon Queen or Dark Lady, etc. So similar in that sense.
Yes, indeed. I mean, that is what I kind of am curious about with the Rune Cleaver. It's because again, yes, he could still be involved and definitely again the skill set really it allows him to do that, but. Say if he went to Nullstone, that'd be more of an impactful, battle item almost, but compared to something like the Rune Cleaver. But in the sense, I mean, obviously it's still a great item pickup, going to be even more farm with that, and hell, he is already farming 442 gold per minute once again, so expect that to get even bigger and better. But it will buy more time for Gemini, most likely, depending on, how the supporting cast does around him, which, with that said, I mean, yeah, they're going to be very mobile as well, so just because he might not be ready to take on big battles doesn't mean his team is good to go. And the Insanitarius Flux, again, it's so almost funny seeing that, but it worked out earlier, and it makes sense. He makes it work, so he's can hit very hard and already somewhat pretty tanky now. Extra tanky even because of that. Is there a Portakam Bubbles yet? No.
Yeah, he's quite far away from the back. I mean, Boxy's done so well, though. Like, in a lane there, he shouldn't have got absolutely nothing. He's 3-0-2, hasn't died once, and his GPM is recovering quite well. And that's the problem. They put almost like a pseudo tri-lane down here, like against him, and yet he's farmed quite well and hasn't died, which is the main thing. But in terms of the Last of Us, they do have the Tempest Stone, and we haven't really seen Tempest that much recently, just because he doesn't really offer that sort of rotation and mobility like a secondary support does. But I mean that black hole or the elemental void is just so powerful and not to be underestimated. It looks like he's rotating into an astrolabe, but in my opinion, the astrolabe is almost too late to get almost, because they're not really going to be pushing towers because they're down and they're fighting against a Flux engineer combo. I think I'd like to see him even just go either straight Shrunken Head or pick up the portal key, trying to get like the God 5-man hole. Yeah. Because astrolabe sort of promotes sort of pushing, and they're not going to be pushing against an Engineer Flux combination, seeing as they're down as well. So, we'll see. Yeah, it's definitely looks like he is going that route in the end. In fact, Energizer also being delivered to Gemini now. So again, with that Talisman of the XL earlier on, just for the mana burst, but has a full Energizer being delivered to him, and he's doing his best to keep some decent farm up. I mean, 315 gold per minute, obviously he's kind of showing that. So looks like he's reconnecting now. Has Roots here, or Root of Z, I guess, playing the Engineer. So as soon as they give the go-ahead, should be good to resume on, though, with our, again, what is our third and final game. And, I love Han and everything, but Merca's going to be playing a football match here soon. Yeah, that's like a really, really important game, actually. if you beat Portugal,
then we win. Or we advance, yeah.
You don't win.
We win. We win it all.
Yeah, we win
why even continue? There's no point. We'd be undefeated.
No, you're pretty much guaranteed qualification now.
Yeah. No, I think mathematically that would guarantee qualifying. So it's a big game.
If America qualify and England don't, like, the humiliation is
and it's going to happen. So I'm excited for that. I can't wait for them to play Germany, though. Got a thing going with KZ right now. Smack talk back and forth. All right. So back to this game, though. Back to Heroes of New Earth. Triple stack Ancients going to be done in the meantime by the Hellborn side. Flux going to take the majority of that, I'm sure. And work with that. So that Rune Cleaver is going to be coming shortly here, though, for Baltazar. Just needs that one more broadsword. Kind of poking in the middle tower here as a Legion team.
I don't think Willowkeeper can really defend this middle tower. Like, Flux is quite low from taking these Ancients, actually, and they don't have the mana or the HP to take this. So I think this tier 1 mid is going to drop unless they rotate back to the well right now. Oh, there's only 3 pushing mid, actually, so they might be too scared to even take. Yeah, they're too scared. They don't realise that Hellborn were taking Ancients, so they're just going to back off, which is unfortunate in the end. But didn't want to take the risk. We have God Vision, they don't. So.
Little easier for us. Madman top lane. He's going to go on to Magnus up here and take the rest of the creep farm. Kind of toying with him a little bit. Magnus does the same, though, and falls back, but Madman with the invis here needs more than fine. There's the Astrolabe purchase on what you got playing Tempest, so he will finish that in full for the time being. Shivers up. Let's send into the top lane here. Get some good vision of what's going on up on the Hellborn jungle, at least a little bit of it. Maybe that top rune area as well. Did Flux buy something else? No, still sitting in the same item set here, but again, we'll see if he gets that portal key in action line, especially with the struggles of Bubbles here. Continues more this battle build. I think the Soul's Bulwark is what he followed it up with next. So if it is the same, there's that Rune Cleaver finish, though, on Madman now. As the Legion team doing the triple stack Ancients themselves on their own side. So Gemini, another 1,100 gold saved up. He's definitely having a better farm game this time.
I don't know if they can defend this mid-tier tower. Gemini's got to go back to base because he's just took the triple stack Ancients, but it's the same with Legion trying to take the tier 1 mid. They just didn't know they were taking Ancients, so it's just best not to risk it. And Madman's not with him anyway. He's not in a position to fight. He's quite low on mana and HP as well. And as they've sort of picked up these sort of farming items, you won't see like an actual 5-on-5 engagement until the carries feel ready to really take a team fight. And I think Gemini's going to be maybe earlier to take a team fight than Madman because he's so squishy right now, Madman. He needs to have a strong head at least to survive in these team fights. Or he's just going to completely feed the amount of magical damage coming out from the Legion side. Yeah.
Still has now leveled up his ultimate as Madman, but again, when you're just playing the farm game, not necessarily by any means. He's got the level 4 gash now.
I think Gemini's going to try and set up the gank on the Madman sort of Magnus. He just picked up a dust, actually, so they're looking to kill this Madman. And I'd like to see carries do this, actually. Like, normally you see the carry just AFK farming, but getting involved in teamfights can be the difference, you know, getting ahead of. They're coming in right now, actually.
Yep, Madman's in trouble here. He's going to be caught on dust, most likely going to be popped just in case. There you go. He tries to stuck away. He still goes in the movement speed, but he runs right into Rhapsody. And down falls Baltazar, exactly.
It's easy as that, honestly. Mid lane, actually.
Yeah, there's a big initiation here in the meantime. Flux already pulling the mid. Energy field goes down. Tundra gets caught by Gemini just on the outskirts of it. Going to be fine, but Magnus not so much. Bubbles in the background still chasing. Again, they're doing this without Madman, though, of course. They do get the tower kill, but the Legion team wants to fight. What you got here on Tempest, he has that ultimate ready to go, but they're not going to get more of a chance. So at least a good response there from the Willowkeeper team.
Yeah, like TPing into Engineer ulti is just disaster. So dangerous. That's why Magnus got instantly picked off. And like I said before, like this Tempest is so slow. He can't really sit. Like unless like there's 5 people on a plate for him, he's not going to get an element of void off. And that's why I've liked to maybe seen the rush portal keeper. I mean, Tempest is really completely sort of came off of this meta right now. He's too immobile, he's too slow, he's too passive. Like, it's all about aggression and early fighting and early team fighting. And just Tempest is more late game, sort of to mid game, sort of mid fight, team fight. And it just doesn't offer that much compared to, say, like an Engineer or a Luna that has already had impact in this game. But, I mean, the later that this does go on, the more impact this Tempest is going to have. But at the moment, he's unfortunately not. Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing that does make Tempest great ultimately in the end is the fact that there's no item you can get that makes it so you can't. If you get hit in the hole, then you're going to have to rely on your team as stopping it for you.
Yeah.
So that is obviously the important thing about what he brings to the table. But see Madman cleaning up some more jungle camp. So again, after that death, another 1,200 gold those saved up. So the Rune Cleaver definitely doing work. Well, supporting cast keeping him alive. 2,100 gold on Flux now. So once again, where he falls, if he was going Soul's Bulwark, he probably would have it by now. So maybe he is going for that portal key next.
I mean, he could go strong and head as well. I mean, there's a lot of magical damage coming up from Legion as well, actually. And he could definitely warrant a strong and head. And he does have the portkey money now, so I'd assume he's going to go for a strong and head. Madman's working to his way to a strong and head as well. It's definitely needed in this game. It would nullify like Magmus completely, as well as sort of Tundra and Gemini to an extent, with all their magic damage.
Yeah.
So.
Going over triple stack Ancients over here. Yep, they are triple stack, so Flux and Bubbles gonna...
They might even rotate over to Kongor after these Ancients. Oh no, Flux rotating top.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see actually Willowkeeper try and go for an early Kongor. They have a Madman, and unless he's the one position, like he could easily take this Kongor with Gash, although they don't have Abyssal Skull actually, or any type of life regen or even armor, so taking Kongor might be a little bit more difficult than expected actually. But I think with a Madman you can take it so much earlier than before presumed. So.
Middle lane again though. Tundra's still in this area and farming it out. As far as where he's going, I mean, 1,100 gold saved up. There's a portal key on Magmus, so Fuzzy Sloth has managed to farm his way back and get the portal key here picked up. But I was gonna say, I wonder if Tundra's also gonna be looking for that portal key. Speaking of those initiations and jumping in, or what route he's gonna ultimately go. Top lane, they want to kill this Gemini, but he's a little too quick. The ultimate used by Flux right there with the discharge, but he saw that coming. And he was able to react to it in time. Madman, so yeah, you like the idea of the Shrunken Head. I was going to say maybe even like a Brutalizer here with that Mighty Blade, but...
Yeah, no, I think Brutalizer is actually one of the strongest items on Madman, but I think he needs the Shrunken Head before the Brutalizer because he's just too squishy, and if you're putting all that farm onto one hero, if he dies instantly, then he's completely useless pretty much, so... you need sort of survivability as well as damage coming out for this Madman. It's just about balance, really. And the Stronger Head will definitely provide him that survivability he needs to do all the damage he's got.
Right, cleaning up more camps here, and ooh, Whispering Hell after the Mighty Blade.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, in a sense, that does offer somewhat survivability, but I mean, I guess he just feels that they're not taking team fights anyway, so he can be a little bit even more greedy. But also, this is what I'm talking about. This is the life regen he actually needs to take Kongor, and he looks like he's rotating Kongor. I don't know if he's going to go for it now.
Yeah.
Yes, he is actually.
Yeah, he is.
Good timing, and I don't think Legion even realised, although they are perhaps.
I mean, this is
a
a solo Madman.
Yeah, and this is like when you run a Madman on a one position farming, like. You give him life regen and enough farm. Oh, Shiver is coming over actually. They're going to spot it.
Very good. That's big. I don't think he saw the Shiver either.
Yeah, it's invis at the moment. Yeah, that's actually really big. But Legion are rotating over, but he's doing it quite quickly actually.
But he's by himself. There's no
that's
support
true.
nearby. He's in trouble.
There's no wards to protect him either. Oh, he's going to be in trouble.
Ports are coming in. He's going to stalk through. Do they have any dust? No, they do not. They had a rev ward, but oh, jeez, that was really close. To work it out by now, Bubbles is here.
They should finish this Kongor off, I think.
He needs his ultimate. His ultimate's going up in 8 seconds.
Engineer is nowhere near. This is risky, actually, for
Keeper. That's true. Does he have a Engineer does have a TP. Engineer's farming a portal key, it looks like. He's going to get it here, actually. Jeez. He's managed some pretty good farm here. He's playing the secondary support role, so that's good to see for the Hellborn team. But yeah, so Kongor is very low. He's going to start slowly regenning here. But the Legion team, you see Invis Tundra. Interesting. Do they have any Rev Ward or Bound Eye or anything? They do off to the side here to the left. If Tundra goes a little bit over, he's going to Avalanche actually on a Mammoth to open things up. They want to try to burst it down. Magma's coming in. He gets pushed back. He will stun in, though. Down goes one. Mammoth is dead currently. The Keg said it's not going to matter. The Tempest ultimate holding them in place. And the Last of Us wins the fight big time. Flux is holding his ground, trying to maybe get away, but the piercing shard's not enough. HP. 1 HP. The Keg's going to hit, and it buys in the time. Holy crap.
Oh, no, is that buyback? Yeah, buyback on Boxy. He's going to try and steal this. If there's one person to do it, it's Boxy.
It's Boxy. I mean, Flux is also coming back. I think they could definitely fight this. If Bubbles doesn't get caught, that is. Oh, yeah, he is going to get caught. He will Kelpfoot at least. That's going to stall them, if anything, so. I mean, Madman's up in 20 seconds, but Kongor is so low already. I mean, Flux is now coming in, but this is where you get into play some. Oh, the release hit. That was a kill on Magnus. They need to get back. Yeah, they're low on life. They're not feeling good right now. Tempest is actually in trouble. A power throw can maybe finish him off, and it's only level 3. But it is a power throw nonetheless. He's not going to use it. Now Magnus stuns in, and that should be the end of that. But now they have a chance to get Kongor themselves. This Kongor, man. Early Kongor just making some plays here for both teams.
Legion can't take this, no way. I think Hellman have got this now, definitely. Now Madman's back. Yeah, Madman's gonna secure that. Tundra's coming in though. I don't know what he's doing. He's in trouble, really.
Yeah, he's toying with them. Yeah, he needs to be careful himself, actually.
Yeah.
He's low on life.
But no, like this all goes back honestly to Flux. Oh, he does ult here. I don't know if he's gonna catch him though. Yeah, this was the point of Flux surviving with 1 hatch. Oh, they're going in.
Okay, he used it Sanitarius right before he got stunned, but it doesn't matter. He does fall as they portal keys back in for the kill.
I mean,
so
that's more of a consolation prize because Mammoth still picks up the token in the end. But yeah, they wouldn't have got the token honestly if Flux didn't survive with 1 HP there. He was the hero to really secure them the Kongor there. 1 HP. I've never actually seen it there. Someone survive on 1 HP in the end. But
crazy.
Insanitarius really showing his true potential. Really, it's giving him the amount of tank he needs, but obviously not tanky enough because he does fall in the end. But
yes, he does. And that's we were questioning Diglett why he was sticking around so long, but hey, it paid off obviously. He got the portal key and made the play with it. But yeah, as you said, kind of like a small consolation because really the big picture, Madman does get the token of life, and that's why the whole fight took place in the first place. So. Madman is going to continue to farm in the meantime. I mean, with all of this said, though, Gemini is getting up there. 2,600 more gold saved up himself. His GPM is getting closer and closer to Madman, even with that Rune Cleaver and whatnot. Gemini is closing that gap here because of the pace of the game.
But I don't know who's going to be scarier. Like, they have quite a similar farm, as you mentioned, but I think Madman's going to be offering maybe potentially a little bit more burst potential or a little bit more damage, and Gemini's going to be a bit more beefy in the sense of like the items he's got to go for. We saw him last game with like 3,000 HP, but we'll have to see. He's farming still quite well. He's got 3,000 gold now. He's probably going to finish maybe the Dawnbringer. He might even go the Axe of Malfire like we saw last game. But yeah, I mean, Madman needs that Shrunken Head. You saw him like absolutely blow up in that team fight at Kongor because he didn't have that Shrunken Head. But he is working to it now, and he does have the token at least for some kind of protection in the next 3 minutes at least, which should maybe give him enough time for a Shrunken. But yeah, once he gets Shrunken and maybe a Brutalizer, this hero is going to be doing absolutely insane amounts of damage and potential and sort of just work pretty much in the team fights.
Now, he is level 16 as well. It's not like a crazy impactful mark like maybe on other heroes, but still. Being level 16 amps that Enrage just a little bit more berserk even. A little bit more makes him well, more berserk. Shrunken Head finished on Flux there, and the Shrunken Head is coming along for Madman. He just needs the pattern now. Yes, he just bought the Mighty Blade. But yeah, like I was talking about earlier too, Engineer manages to finish that portal key here as well. Still even before Bubbles gets his own portal key. He has gotten some build up here, but...
Yeah, but it's quite important though to have, because now Engineer has the portal key. It will allow Flux not to go one, if that makes sense, because the Flux portal key is only there to try and set up the Engineer, but Engineer can sort of set him up himself almost. So that's quite a big pickup actually, because now it frees Flux to go a more carry-oriented style of build.
Yeah. Now Gemini goes the Geometer Spain here in the end, having the Purge effect.
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, in the end, it's kind of good because you can build Frostwolf score. Because if you build a Dawnbringer, you can only split it up for like a Geometer's Plane and a Frostwolf, because you're not going to buy it or build a Grimmer on Gemini. So in the end, it's not the biggest of deals, but he's still quite squishy actually. I'd like to maybe see him tank up a little bit, especially in these early sort of stages, because I mean, there's a lot of burst potential coming out from the Hellborn team, and if he does drop, a lot of the team fight coming out from Legion is lost actually. So.
Well, my question is, I don't know if I like it over it, because the purpose of it, you want to say it's almost same purpose, similar purpose to like a Shrunken Head, and I almost want to say Shrunken Head would be better in this case, and usually most of the time with a hero like Gemini especially, but...
I mean, it does purge off the energy field coming out from Engineer, but other than that,
but a Shrunken Head would allow you to just run through it. So it's like. But
the only problem, like, there's almost sort of counter synergy between Gemini and getting a Shrunken Head, because when he gets a Shrunken Head, obviously it doesn't work with fire and ice. And it's like, well, if you're not using the ultimate from Gemini, then why don't you pick another carry hero, if that makes sense? But
that's fair, yeah.
I know, I mean, it's just kind of awkward, and that's why we didn't actually see Gemini picked up too much. I mean, he's been played quite a lot now, but I remember when Stay Green were sort of quite dominant in the scene, we never saw Gemini because of the importance of Shrunken Head, and it's just kind of counter synergy with Gemini in the end. But I mean, Gemini was the hero that beat Stay Green for like his 70 win streak or so.
That's true, yeah.
QA, so. and he got a shrunken head anyway. So in the end, I guess it doesn't matter too much about in theory, just how it works in practicality, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Middle push here. Look at this. Token of life well, it's about to despawn right here. Okay, so this is actually interesting because the token of life just wears off, and that's when they're making a push mid. So kind of an odd timing, but he did just get a shrunken head, so that's where it does make sense. Are you still comfortable with them pushing, even though the token just wore off there?
They're stuck in a situation because now Tempest has shrunken head, and Gemini obviously still quite a strong late game presence, and honestly, I think although Maven is a strong carry here, and Flux has his carry potential as well, I think with the Tempest, I think actually Legion have a slightly better late game, and pushing into the tower is understandable because obviously they don't want to wait forever, but at the same time it's kind of risky because pushing into a Tempest hole is dangerous, and they're hellborn, and so they can easily get the Kongor when it respawns. Oh, this Boxy going down to Gemini actually. Yeah, and I think the safe play would just be waiting for Kongor before they go for a map objective. But in the end, after that pick off on bubbles, they're going to try and push mid themselves. That is Legion. So
you see up to the side here, Madman. He wants to farm it, but he knows that the Legion team is just around the corner, and he's right to think that because they definitely are. Bubbles does have a buyback, but at the same time, obviously not really necessary here. It's 20 seconds more in Resurrection. So probably just going to wait for him to resurrect, but Legion team might actually continue the push for the time being. Gemini is sending his Fire Dog back to base to possibly get something there, but nope. They're just going to fall back altogether. Yeah, it's just too much of a risk to push right here, it looks like. And The Last of Us is not too comfortable with that, so they will fall back and let that be done with. 2,175 gold saved up on Flux, so he does have enough for that PK, but again, seems like he might be going a different direction here. And oh, never mind. He does go the PK. I was going to say, but Bubble's still no PK. That's, again, he's used a buyback. His gold farm overall hasn't been the best.
Yeah.
So, and there was a top lane where they actually went to top lane when Gemini was pushing, where if he had a portal key, they could have possibly gotten a kill, but he just had no way to kind of close the gap quickly enough. Without that portal key,
true.
So. That's,
I think the next Kongor, when it respawns, is going to be a big factor in the turn and tide of this game, actually, because both teams are quite scared to really push in, which is understandable. They don't really want to push in unless they have like a clear advantage, either with a pick-off or with a Kongor kill. And in the meantime, they're both kind of similar sort of team fight and similar late game, even though I probably would maybe give it the edge to Legion. And so Kongor is going to be the factor to see maybe a change in this stalemate between these two teams, actually.
See, finishing off the Ancients right there. I mean, I still think Kongor has at least a couple more minutes left. I almost think they feel like it's like the old Kongor, where it's the token of life wore off, so it must be 3 minutes in between. But no, obviously it's 5 minutes now.
That's true. That's
in between, so it's a little bit longer than maybe that they were expecting. I don't know if they had a timer or whatnot, but yeah, I still think he at least has a couple more minutes here. It's almost as if they were expecting it to spawn, but he goes to the top lane instead, and it will push out the lane up here at least a little bit. But yeah, look at Gemini, 3,500 gold saved up, going back to base right now. Kind of want bottom lane. Yeah, Boxy goes down.
Oh, that's a real shame because he's even further away from his portal key now as well. So,
yep.
Oh dear.
That's big for The Last of Us.
And Tempest is zoning in on his portal key as well. And once they have shrunken portal key, I don't think there's anything that can stop this Tempest hole. So if he gets a good hole, and Gemini gets picked up as well. And with a few pickups like this, I really think the Legion's late game is going to be really, really strong. Particularly as this 5-man hole, if it does happen, is not going to be stopped at all.
Yeah.
So they don't have a superior interrupt.
Yeah, that was a great sequence of events right there for The Last of Us. The lead's definitely growing a little bit. I mean, Shrunken Head, by the way, on Tempest, so he's pretty much good to go here, unless, I guess, but the Flex Pull doesn't really screw that up, does it?
Nah,
I don't believe it does, so yeah, he's pretty much good to go as far as that's concerned, so that's another big threat, obviously, coming on the Legion's side. And hell, he has another 3,000. I was going to say he could get a portal key here, and he does, so he now has his way to get in there as well with that Shrunken Head. So yeah, this is really coming together nicely now all of a sudden for The Last of Us. They have a lot of gold across the board, too. 3,200 gold on Magnus. He's going to be buying a sheepstick here, most likely.
Yeah, it seems to be going really well for Legion. And it's just a few little pickoffs here and there for the Willowkeeper. I thought Willowkeeper did have control of this game, but after a few pickoffs here and there, and I think the general farming actually has been superior by the Last of Us, and as a result they're sort of edging ahead. But I mean, the Willowkeeper is definitely still in this game. Like I said, Kongor is coming up shortly, and this will be, it's just come up right now, and this will definitely be a point of contention in this game. Actually, middle lane.
Yeah, it's going to be a big catch. Bubbles, he take covers initially, but he does get caught by the Twin Fangs. And the burst after that's way too much to handle. The Hellborn team's kind of collapsing as if they want to still fight, but no, they wouldn't dare take a fight, especially with Bubbles dead currently. So this is now a bad spot, though, because Kongor is up, and you can see the Legion team trying to take control of that area now. Bubbles does have a buyback. But again, he still doesn't have that portal key, so he's not really able to have the best jump chance here. If he does buy back, that is. So they're just going to kind of tank Kongor. Tundra jumps in, actually, onto Luna. He wants a kill. He gets the kill. And actually, Flux hits the sheepstick. Tempest jumps in as well. He's going to use the ultimate right there. Mammoth throws out the barrel, but it's too much damage. And the Protective Melody thrown out just in case. Madman's forced to fall back. And this should be a go. Oh, no, they're going middle, actually. I thought it should be a Kongor kill, but they're going to go straight for the middle, actually. And, yeah. I mean, no buybacks, actually. So this could work out very well.
Yeah, I mean, and now, like, I mean, they're so far behind Willowkeeper. I mean, it was great Tim as well coming out from what you got there. And that's the point, like, they got strong ahead on Tempest, and they have no superior late game. And it kind of goes back to the draft as well, like, oh, they're going in, actually. Yeah,
they're going to chase down Madman right here. Madman, these last two fights, has done very little to nothing, basically. Now, he is going to hold his ground somewhat, but the Avalanche locking him down. At least they get the Kona Tundra, but at what cost here? Madman having to stick around. His stun actually does not work, as he still had barely a Shrunken Head left, but the melee Rax is going to end up falling right here, despite the kill on a Tundra. So, again, they're doing what they can. He denies the tower. I think that really matters at this point. But, yeah, he's got the portal key.
Damage is done, as you can see here. And yeah, this Tempest, like, he was really sort of suffering at the early stages of the game, but we mentioned before, like, once he gets his farm up and gets his strong head, there's nothing that's going to stop it. And the team fight now for Legion is just too strong. They've got quite a lot of farm on Gemini, and as well as Sheepstick on Magnus, and even Tundra's got his strong head as well. I noticed in the last team fight.
Yeah.
And after this Madman is really kind of lackluster, honestly. He's 2-3-2. Yeah, he's got quite good farm, but in the end, it's just not strong enough. They're trying to snake a Kongor, which I think is the only play they've got to do here, but I think Legion are going to spot it out with Shiva or even an Elemental here.
Well, even if they do, I mean, this is happening quick. Again, Madman does this. He's just dropping Kongor, and they are going to get the token. So this was what they needed with the way they're in right now, especially. That was kind of their go-to, and they capitalized with it. So sure, the lead is still looking pretty solid for The Last of Us, but they do have a token of life now on Madman. And as we saw these last couple of fights that have been happening, Madman's been very not useful, frankly, as far as his involvement, just because of how well The Last of Us has been playing it with their initiation and whatnot. So now with that token, though, it's hopefully giving a little bit more free reign to actually getting some good damage, because they need that from him at this point. Oh, Tundra gets caught up to the side, actually. Flux jumps him. He's going to split up, though, after avalanching and then run away real quickly, so makes the escape right there.
And this Magnus is pushing bottom, by the way. It's quite smart.
Oh, wow, yeah. All the way into the face already. Jeez.
Yeah, it's actually really clever what he's doing there. It's because he's just trying to delay the token as much as possible, because Legion don't really want to fight against this token, because they don't want to take any risks. They don't need to take, really. Oh, they're going in the middle lane, actually. Flux might be in trouble.
Yeah, but he's going to be gone, and he's tanky, but ain't tanky enough by a lot. And you know what? Flux has actually sold his Insanitarius. Am I missing something?
I think he might have just sold it just to see if he
just to have buyback? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I just saw that, so I didn't know if he just did that, but yeah, that makes sense, actually.
I didn't see either. I think that's the only why he was...
Yeah, it's not like he already had the other item, so wouldn't make sense elsewise. So yeah, he does have enough for a buyback now, definitely, but will it even result in anything? They don't even get anything. Okay, here we go. Energy field. There's a Flux buyback, but... Oh, that did not work out really as planned. Now they do get Gemini in the background. Tab is ultimate coming out, though. It's going to be a big lockdown right there. Bubble's the only one not caught, and he can't do enough right there. Mammon's going to fall. That should be it. That should be it. Yeah, Concevo coming out. GG, well played being called. And yeah, The Last of Us.
still a good hero.
Temp is still a very good hero. I don't think there really ever was a huge doubt in that. But, I mean, yeah, he hasn't been seen a whole lot lately as we used to see him, definitely. I mean, jungle in general, of course, is kind of being more of a niche thing. But, man, oh, man, he did a lot of work that game with those ultimates. But,
man, I just don't know how that happened, really. I thought Willowkeeper were really in front of that game. You know, the lanes were going that well. You know, they had good rotations, and they were getting quite ahead in the early game. And then slowly but surely, a few pickups here and there, and the game's completely turned in over a matter of minutes, it feels like.
It did. I agree. And again, it's definitely felt like, and that's the thing with Willowkeeper, man. All today, even against Recent Gaming earlier, even both games, I mean, they had chances, but it can't get the job done, can't finish it, and you know that's just one of those things. You know, we say it a lot, but once again, it's just going to come with time, I'm sure. As far as playing more at this level and against some of the best teams in the world. So, but yeah, no, I am looking forward to again seeing the progression of this team again. Still, even after this match here, obviously still plenty of matches left, 8 in total actually for them. As they got 2 now in the books. They did pick up a win though, so again, at least they get a point out of it. But overall, the series does go to the Last of Us, of course, as they take it 2-1. So they're actually having a pretty good start. Again, their win earlier over Shrek is Love, 2-0, putting them in 5 points now with the 3 games out of the way. So good start for them, and we'll see how that continues to progress. But we are going to be wrapping this up because, like I said, I got a soccer match to watch, man. I got a football match to watch, whatever you want to call it. But Mini Maggot, any final words you want to say or anything else?
No, just, I mean, you know, shout out to Willowkeeper. I know they're a strong team, quite close to, you know, friendships and stuff. But, yeah, well played by them. I think they definitely have good potential. It's just like we said, there are a few misplays or a few throws coming out here and there. But
yeah.
I think they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. I mean, we mentioned how Rexars, you know, came in with a weak team. And I think Willowkeeper could be the new Rexars, honestly. I think they could definitely have the potential to finish third in this cycle. So watch out for them for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. Again, they clearly are a skilled team. It's just about capitalizing on, well, not making your own mistakes. First off, is obviously a big part of that. So it will be fun to see how that how things do progress. But again, we got plenty still left here in the Kongor Pro League Cycle number 2. As once again, we are just getting started. So with that said, this is scheduled to be a pretty busy week here. We had some reschedules and everything. We're going to be matches on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, including our Tuesday match, which is actually Reason Gaming versus Shrek is Love. Our Wednesday match will be CiC versus Willowkeeper. And then Thursday, Willowkeeper versus Shrek is Love. So, again, and then obviously into the weekend, you can check out the schedule, HauntTour.com. I'll pull it up on the screen here just for you guys to check it out as well. Again, a full schedule here. And, you know, there are some reschedules obviously here and there that happen. But at this point, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, looking forward to some good Heroes of New Earth. And, of course, into the next weekend with the Kongor Pro League event. So, once again, Mini Maggot, appreciate co-casting. Fun as always. Great job.
It's good fun.
And,
thanks for having me, man.
No problem. Glad, pleasure to have you. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in, and congratulations again to The Last of Us, as well as Recent Gaming earlier today. That is going to wrap things up for the night, though. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night. Go America. We'll see you. We'll see you next time here at Honcast. Have a good night, guys.